So, good evening, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, we'll start now the last session of our conference, The Future of Making, the evening session, with two parts. On the one side, it's already written here, the Digital Ecosystem Declaration. I will announce it just right now. And at the end, we will have the keynote of Neil Gershenfeld. So, the Digital Ecosystem Declaration, it's very much linked to the FabCity Foundation. And the FabCity Foundation have been one of the partners of our project since the beginning of the project 1.5 years ago. And we have been very close accompanied by the whole team of the foundation. And this would be the moment to say thanks to the members of the foundation which have been all the time with us. So it's namely Thomas, who is not today here, but he have been yesterday shown up on the screen. He's now in Bali. And then we have, of course, Kate. I will introduce her just afterwards a little bit more. And Lucas, who's just here. And Ida is also somewhere there. And the fifth person is Carolina, who is not today here. She's in Latin America. The way was too far away for her. So first I would like a little applause for all this team, which was really fundamental for the project. And I think at least the Interfacer project knows what the value they have brought to the project. So a little bit applause for the three of them who are here today. So they were supported us with advice and helped us a lot to exchange and gathering insights from other Fab cities through roundtables and working group. And during mostly the whole period, we had several discussions about the place of the FabCity operating system. And when we just take the name FabCity operating system, it sounds a little bit like iOS or Microsoft OS or something like that. It means operating system which you install on your computer, then you put on the button and it runs. So if you translate this to the FabCity operating system, is that you install FabCity operating system in your FabCity and you push on the button and the FabCity runs. And of course we know that this is not happen. So somehow this was the tricky thing. So what is the place of the FabCity operating system in the overall ecosystem of the Fab cities, and what role should we play there, and what are the role of the other one? And finally we came up with the fact that this is not the point. What we need is so we are not a company like Microsoft where you have like the infrastructure which make running all. You have an ecosystem. You have an ecosystem of different players and different viewpoints and so on, and which is very important for the FabCity network. This diversity of actors and so on. So what we came up with is not defining the role of the FabCity operating system, but more the value we defending all together as a network of Fab cities. And based on these values, then actors can somehow come up and bring their part to the ecosystem, especially in the digital realm. That's why it's called the Digital Ecosystem Declaration. But then is the question, so okay, but how do we come to this common values we are sharing all together? And how this have been done will tell you Kate Armstrong, who hopefully join me now on stage.
Okay, thank you, Wolf. So yeah, it is my absolute pleasure to be here on behalf of the FabCity Foundation. And of course, the FabCity Foundation also represents the wider FabCity network and our FabCity collective and the community of people around the world and organizations that are aiming and vying and with this vision trying to see how we can put FabCity on the ground in local communities across the world. So part of this, as Wolf was introducing, is this concept of the digital ecosystem. So yesterday, Thomas was talking to you about this concept of the full stack, which is kind of the way that we think about how we can implement a Fab City vision across this community globally. The top layer you may see up here is this sharing knowledge with global networks. And for us, this is something that is so powerful, and yet it is so complex, right? It is this infrastructure, it is a set of values, it is a way of working that we as the foundation actually don't have the capacity to do on our own. We are an umbrella that can assist and get involved in projects like Interfacer to enable a way of thinking and doing that brings about the kind of development that we need in order to develop this top layer of the full stack. So that's what we're here to talk about, that's what we're here to engage with, and that's what we're here to try to facilitate, is a conversation and action that starts to progress the interconnection and the support of all of the actors already working on developing this infrastructure. So in order to do this, we took on this task or this idea of building a digital ecosystem declaration. And this is basically our way of responding to a need that we see coming from our network, but also it's our way of foreseeing a need, which is, if we already have digital ecosystems being developed, how can we ensure that they are embedded inside the values that we have as a community? So in order to do this, we have gone through a period of workshopping here, thanks to Fab City Hamburg, thanks to the Interfacer project. And I'm going to give you some details about this and how this kind of went and what the outcomes of this was in a little while. But to introduce the idea that, for 5 years I've been working in Fab City Foundation, and we've been talking about this a lot. And actually, there's many partners in the room that we've had this conversation with many times. We have many of our friends here that we've been talking about, okay, how do we get an alliance? How do we make sure this development of tech happens within our value systems? And I'm really pleased that I think we've got to the point where we might have a glimpse as to how to do that. So in order to give you some background about the way we've been talking about and the way we've been thinking about this, we wanted to bring some international perspectives to talk.